of the letter, the email that was sent to me by the lawyer, and the letter itself that was drafted by the lawyer, and the tender, not the tender document, the lease agreement documents that was part of these discussions. Copies are being made, but I thought I should maybe perhaps, without any waste of time, with your permission, Chair, if possible, that I read it into the, unless the Chair directs otherwise.
We have been finished with copies, General. Let me just look. Ms. Hassim, you put a question to the General, and the General raised the issue of the letter he had referred to previously. Your response?
Chair, can we just admit the letter into the record as Exhibit CJC 82? And then, I mean, I'm not sure whether the witness is saying he wants to address the letter now or not.
That's my impression.
Do you want to address the letter, or do you want to admit it in?
For me, it is very much crucial to support the fact that it was on the 17th of January when I received the email.
Okay, hold on. I just wanted to get the answer to my question about what you wanted to do. It's clear what you wish to do. Could we admit it into the record as CJC 82? And then the witness can...
So admitted.
Thank you. And now you can take us... You don't need to read it into the record because we have it, the commissioners have it, but you can tell us what you want to say about it.
I just wanted to say that this is a lot of demand, a notice to vacate the promise, to vacate the property, and then also saying that they act on behalf of Mr. Matlala, May 24, and that there are people who are actually occupying the premises which has been leased to them. So that is what they came to and discuss. And I might have, or I made a mistake that I must admit, that I spoke about the tender document when in fact it's supposed to be the lease agreement.
Yes.
So I'm just correcting that error, Chair.
But General... sorry.
Yes, Ms. Hassim.
You know, you refer to the letter. There's a cover page, which is the email, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like the letter was attached to this email. Is that right?
That's correct, Chair.
And it's an email from Mr. Matlala to you.
It's email from Mr. Matlala to Sitole, Major General Sitole, and then copied DNC Crime Detection, myself, yes.
And the date of that email?
It's 22nd of February, 2024.
So you received this this letter of demand on the 22nd of February, 2024?
This document, what is important about this document? It is the document when they were setting up an appointment to see me, and then to come to the office, I guess, because when I look at the letter of demand is signed 19 January 2024. In other words, they attached this letter of 19 January as well.
Yes, I'm trying to understand. I see that. The letter of demand is 19 January 2024. They sent this to you on the 22nd of February. But this was after your meeting. This was after the meeting you had with Mr. Matlala.
Look, Chair, based on the fact that I see paperwork now in front of me and the dates, I'm subject to correcting the dates where I see the dates, because the bottom line to me is that it was this that the meeting was based on. Now, the email came first, and then the attachment here is 19 January, which means this document was there already when the lawyers came with Mr. Matlala to the office. So which means that my meeting could have been around February. Where I made mistakes in terms of the date, I will admit, but I don't have any paperwork now that I could really refer to.
Yeah, you know, when I first started asking you about your first meeting with Mr. Matlala, do you recall I pointed out to you that in your statement in the ad hoc committee, you said that the meeting was in February. And I think you might have even said 22nd February, but I stand to be corrected. But definitely in your statement before the ad hoc committee, you said you met him in February. And then in your statement to the Matlanga Commission, you said you met him in January. And I said to you, why did you change the dates to January? So, and now you're saying you want to go back to February. Is that what you're saying?
Chair, all I can say, honestly speaking, where I got the date mixed up, here are documents, of importance. Here are documents with the dates, the two dates, whether it was February or January. To me, it's neither here nor there, but I do accept my mistake where I found myself, let's say, I said we met in January. Because in my mind, as I recall the document, I will recall this date of 19th of January. But this 19th of January, you find that it is in fact the date that was just attached to the email. So I accept that whether there's mix-up of dates in my case, I'm working from my memory.
I must do this. Let me just finish this off by saying in the ad hoc committee, Mr. Matlala testified that he met you in January 2024. So I'm asking you, is that why you said January 2024 when you provided the statement to this commission?
Not necessarily, because remember, I testified long before him in Matlala, at the ad hoc committee. And then also himself, he was not from his home when he went to testify. There has been too long in prison without paperwork or whatever. So whatever date mixed ups there is, to me, there's not much I can say other than to say whether maybe I made a mistake, whether it was in January or February, but here's an email, here's a letter of demand, and there's a lease agreement that has been, they want to make the copy. And this is the gist of the basis for the meeting. Now, whether it was in February or January, where I could have been wrong, I won't really argue much around that.
Okay, that's fine. You said we're still going to be receiving another document.
Yes.
I think, are you referring to the lease agreement itself, General?
That is correct.
We have been given copies just now, Ms. Hassim.
My back was turned.
Yes.
We've received it.
Yes.
Then, Chair, I suppose we must also admit this into the record as Exhibit CJC 83.
So admitted. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Anything else on this letter, General, before you answer my question?
Not at all.
Okay. So the question was about what Mr. Matlala said about delivering the impalas to you.
All I know and all I can remember is that he denied it himself. He said it never happened, and then that is not his voice. So I say, I know for a fact that I never received such.
Okay. So let me just take you to another part of the record of the chats. It will be in file 7. Yeah. And it's page 89.
Page 89.
Whilst you are looking, General, I know Mr. Matlala is not here, has not been thus far, but I just want to engage you on your reliance on what you say was a denial by him regarding the impalas. You remember the screenshot that you were shown here today or this morning?
That's correct, Chair.
And you remember that part of that screenshot, Mr. Matlala says to the person who I think, or rather whose voice I think we hear in that recording, he says to him, please check your account. Do you remember that?
I do, Chair.
That must have related to Mr. Matlala paying. I mean, that in context, that's what seems to make sense, correct? Check your account.
Yes, Chair, I agree, but it could have been for anything.
No. If you let's go on with, of course now, but we can show that screenshot
try to
again.
again,
Yeah, but in the meantime, let me work on the basis I'll be shown to be a liar. But after Mr. Matlala says, check your account, then the person says, thank you, sir, got it. Thank you very much. You see that?
I see, Chair.
And then on memory, I think it then promises to deliver. What does he say down there? Okay, everything has been arranged. He will catch the impalas on Sunday and transport it Monday to that location. Is it good? So he's saying that to Mr. Matlala, and Mr. Matlala says, no problem. Do you see all that?
I see, Chair.
I still remembered it, or I still remembered all of it off the top of my head. Now, if, as appears to be the case, Mr. Matlala paid for the impalas, the person received payment, the person promised to deliver, Mr. Matlala said, no problem. What must we make of this? Must we say this is all a lie?
From where I'm sitting, Chair, when I'm sitting with a situation where I said I don't want the impalas, remember, Chair, at the back of our mind.
No, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry to do this to you, General. This is not about your own response or attitude. What I'm asking you is about what you said was Mr. Matlala's denial. What exactly did Mr. Matlala deny? You said Mr. Matlala made a denial regarding the impalas. What exactly did he deny?
He said he never sent any impala or bought any impalas for me.
Does what we've just looked at support that?
That is something else. They don't say for General Sibiya or for Sibiya.
But remember, this is all in the context of you having given your address for delivery. All of this is in that context.
You see, Chair, it will be dangerous to speculate because from where I'm sitting, I don't know the relationship between Matlala and maybe this person who is talking to and what that money was it for or about. But I find it very difficult for me, where I'm sitting, even to respond to a communication that involved between Matlala and someone else, or between Nkosi and someone else.
General, Ms. Sasim already took you to the location or the pin that was sent, and you accepted that it was your address. Do you remember that?
I do, Chair.
Yes. So this was to be a delivery at your place.
Yes, Chair.
And the only thing spoken about which was to be delivered were the impalas.
Up until I said,
No. Let's leave aside what your attitude was. The only thing that was to be delivered was the impalas, correct?
not the imbalance. What I wanted,
General, I've said it will be the third time now. I have said at this stage, I'm not talking about your attitude, but what was to be delivered according to the conversations, the context was the impalas, correct? Yes, your attitude was, Sergeant Kosi, if it's impalas, I don't want to hear a thing about them. All I want is a mate for this one animal, which is a black spock. If it's impalas, I don't want. That's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you that in context, everything that was spoken about was about the delivery of impalas. I'm not talking about what your attitude was to that. Is it not correct?
it's correct, Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Hassan.
Thank you. We can go now to page 89 of the chats that I referred you to. Just let me know if you're there. Are you there? Do you see it, General?
Page 89,
Yes.
yes, the bid was not properly. You're talking about that.
Yes, that's right. That's the top of the page. But if you just go a little further down, this is a
Advocate
conversation.
Hassan, maybe to assist him, the flags that are, so W being 1, then 89.
He's there.
Is he there?
Yes.
Okay.
So you'll see at the second message from the bottom is what I want to draw your attention to. This is an extract of a WhatsApp conversation between Mr. Matlala and Mr. Brown Mokotsi, and it was retrieved from Mr. Matlala's phone. And the second message from the bottom reads as follows. I hear that you told Mr. S that I told you that I gave him some animals to keep at his plot. So I wanted to hear from you if there's any truth in this. Did Mr. Brown Mokotsi speak to you about delivery of animals to your plot?
No,
Did you not have any conversation with him about impalas?
no.
So this conversation between Mr. Matlala and Mr. Brown Mokotsi takes place on the 8th of May, 2025. Do you see that?
8 May 2025.
Yes.
I don't know where you see the date. Advise me. Oh,
It's-
okay.
On that
I
cat.
say 14 May 2025.
No, it's the one above.
One above, yes,
Yes.
8 May. Yeah, okay, I see it.
There's a gap in some days before he sends the next message to Mr. Mokotsi. So it's 8 May 2025. So it was before his arrest. And the recording that we played was taken at the time of his arrest on 14 May 2025. Okay? So the conversation about the impalas, the animals and the delivery to the plot was already taking place before he was arrested. Do you see that?
I hear what you say.
You still maintain that the 14 May was an AI generated?
I wouldn't get involved into the AI generated stuff or part of it. All I'm saying is that these are the conversations between certain individuals on their own accord, whatever they were talking about. That does not involve me.
It does involve you, though. And they are talking about the delivery of animals. Here Mr. Matlala says animals, but what we know them to be are impala.
But
So if there was not this issue of the impalas and the delivery of the impalas to your property, why would he be discussing it with Mr. Mokotsi?
what I heard is when you were saying to Mohoti, I hear you going around saying, you told so-and-so that, let me read it. I hear that you told Mr. S that I told you that I gave him some animals to keep at this plot. So I wanted to hear from you if there's any truth in this.
Yes, he's asking, did you tell Mr. S, who's, I think is you, did you tell him that I told you about those animals? Did you then go and tell Mr. S about it? That's what he's asking.
Well, personally, I never discussed with Brown Mokoti the issue of the impalas. I never discussed with Mr. Ket Matlala about the issue of the impalas.
The only person you spoke to was Mr. Nkosi about the impalas.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. And we're not going to go back there because we've looked at that whole exchange of text that you knew it was coming from Mr. Matlala. So we're going to leave it at that. Unfortunately, we're not leaving your relationship or you don't like me using the word relationship, but your contact with Mr. Matlala. And I want to move to another time period. So we had March for the impalas. Now we have 14 September 2024. Can you please go to page 111 of that same file? Hold on.
Page 111.
Yes. Actually, sorry, that's the wrong page. Can you please go to... Actually, no, I do want to take you to page 111. What I want to show you on page 111 is a series of polls between Mr. Nkosi and Mr. Matlala. And you'll see at 1911, you'll see at the bottom of the page of 111.
Yeah.
Right. Mr. Nkosi calls Mr. Matlala. Okay. So there's an exchange between the two of them at 1911 in the evening on the 14th of September. Now I'd like you to go to page 364 of the same.
Just to ask Chair, this page that we just dealt with, what is the specific question related to it? So that when you go to the next one, I'm going to respond on
No,
that.
you've got to see them together. So we'll go there.
These are just calls, yeah?
It's just a call, yes.
Yeah, so which page? Next page?
Yes, so now I've asked you to go to 364.
On it,
Okay.
now we are moving from, okay, the 14th of May, the 14th of September to the 13th of September.
No,
yes.
no, hold on. The relevant chat, we're going to begin on chat number 2. So it's 14 September.
Yes.
Now, this is a chat between you and Mr. Nkosi, okay?
Yes.
Right. So we saw 1911, the call, but hold that in the back of your mind. Here we've got 1907. You send Mr. Nkosi a message saying back ? And he responds 2 minutes later. He says, just arrived now, General, dropping this gogos, then coming to you. And then at 1910, chat number 4, you respond and you say, ask Cat to make a turn. Okay, that's at 1910.
Yes.
And then we saw at 1911, Mr. Nkosi called Mr. Matlala. That's at page 111. Do you recall?
I do.
And then he comes back to you at 1911 and 14 seconds with a message. I spoke to him earlier. He promised to come around 8. Okay. And then at 1912, he says he will be there in 30 minutes. Do you see that?
Yes.
Right. So this is you asking Mr. Nkosi, Sergeant Nkosi, to communicate with Cat, as you call him, and you ask him to make a turn. So the first thing I want to ask you is, how is it you refer to him as Cat in September 2024? Is it not because by then you've established a relationship with him that you can use a term of familiarity?
No, I think whether we like it or not, this is how he's known. Although officially speaking, we have to call him Mr. Matlala when we are addressing, as we are addressing. But he was known as Cat. He's known as Cat. So it's not a question of familiarity, because there are certain names that you can call where you call a person name and surname. But there's another one that you can call that is known with a particular name. Unfortunately, that's how it is.
So you say to Sergeant Nkosi, ask Cat to make a turn, and you know that he will convey that message. It's not unusual for him to be asked by you to communicate with Mr. Matlala for the purpose of inviting him to your house. This is not unusual.
Yes.
He says, yeah, that's fine. I know what you mean by Cat, and I make the arrangement. And he then proceeded to make the arrangement.
Yes.
Okay. So why is it that you wanted Mr. Matlala to come to your house?
Look, what happened is that I think it is, at that time, it was my son's engagement. And we didn't have many people there. There were, I think it was something like 20 people. And it was mostly my son's friends and the fiance's friends. So the people that I had invited there was General Sintumule. Because I worked very close to General Sintumule, and we had a very good relationship with General Sintumule. And General Shibiri was coming back from China. I also asked him, called him and said, hey, I'm here, and this is what's going, because I was alone. I didn't invite my friends because it was not about me. Now, as they were there, there was also General Sintumula didn't come alone, came with General Tema. General Tema was the former head of the college, who is a very close friend of Miss Matlala, Cat Matlala's wife. As you can see, even in General Sintumula's own statement now, the supplementary statement that she just submitted, where she says she was introduced to a lady as Miss Matlala, then later was introduced to Mr. Matlala. Now, one of them asked me and say, Mr. Matlala want to make a turn because his wife is here. He must come fetch his wife. Do you mind? And then I didn't say I don't mind. The way I responded, it was after quite some time, because I don't remember in what context it happened, but I then sent that message that said, care to make a turn, because remember, at that point in time, okay, like the former Minister Begitela said, the eyes then that looked at Cat are not the same eyes that look at him now. There was nothing wrong at that point in time that we could say there was a problem that we know of. that the man was under investigation, or he was just one of the people that we were used to. And me, in my case, I was getting used to him, but he was not my friend. So that's why I say I wrote that message and say that to make it a 10 to me. It wasn't really a big deal.
So when you said ask Kat to make a turn, it was a friendly invitation for him to join you at the celebration.
Not necessarily an invitation, but because of the fact that to me, I thought they first wanted to check whether am I comfortable or not, because there were not many people invited. I then said, no, ask her to make a turn.
Okay, so it is an invitation.
Well, if it is what it is, then I'll accept it.
I want to be clear about this because you send a message to Sergeant Nkosi, you say, ask Kat to make a turn, and he says he'll be there in 30 minutes. And your explanation is you're having a celebration, and there was a request for him to come and join and to be present at the celebrations, right?
Not to be present. Because remember,
What does make a turn mean?
he was expected to come, because he had to come fetch his wife. But then they were not sure whether he will be welcomed. That's when I said, ask her to make a turn. How I termed it, maybe, or how I put it, the words, this is how they came at that point in time.
I think I'm missing something. You said that you were informed that Mr. Matlala would be coming. Would it be okay?
Yeah, somebody would say, look, would you mind, do you want to come? And his wife is here, he wants to come. Do you have a problem? At that point in time, I'm not sure whether I responded same time or not, but I did give consent that he can come.
Okay, and so how long was he there for?
I never sat with Kat, not even for a moment. So I can't say how long was he there for. All I know is that I did bump into him, and then not more than an hour they were gone.
Okay, so he was socializing.
If you want to call it socializing, can't help it, man.
Yes, I mean, you did say it was a small gathering. It was only about 20 people.
Yeah, it wasn't for adults. It was for my son engagement.
I think, General, you should have a look at your statement on this. Sorry, it's the statement from this morning. Because your version there is a little different from what you're saying now.
That's at 22.
22,
paragraph
thank
22.
you. Thank you.
Page 6, General, paragraph 22.
Paragraph 22.
Yes. And your version here, maybe you want to read.
Should I read it? On 14th.
Can you read from 22? Until the end of that section.
On 14 September 2024, my wife and I hosted a surprise engagement celebration for my son and his fiancée at our residence. The gathering was intimate in nature, attended primarily by close family and friends. A limited number of senior officers from head office were also invited, including Major General Tema and General Sintumule. Now, I don't know, earlier the chairperson said to me, you were quick to correct some of the things and then some you keep quiet. I didn't invite General Tema. She was already on pension. And then she's a close friend of General Sintumule. General Sintumule came with General Tema. And General Tema is a close friend of Ms. Matlala's wife.
Okay.
Must I proceed?
Yes.
I placed on record that I did not invite Ms. Matlala to the event, nor did I initially invite Mr. Matlala. Mr. Matlala attended the function on the invitation of General Tema. She arrived earlier in the course of the event. As the afternoon progressed, the General Tema informed me that Ms. Matlala had consumed alcohol and was hesitant to drive herself home. I was conveyed that she wished for her husband to collect her.
Continue.
Must I continue? It was only that stage and in those circumstances that Mr. Matlala attended the event for the limited purpose of collecting his wife. I paused to mention that I also communicated with Sergeant Fanning-Kosi and advised that he could convey to Mr. Matlala that he was permitted to attend the residence, given Sergeant Nkosi's close acquaintance with him. Sergeant Nkosi had been assisting me with certain logistical arrangements relating to the event during the course of the day. At the time in question, he was briefly attending to a personal errand. It was in those circumstances that Mr. Matlala attended the residence. His attendance was limited in duration. While he entered the home and briefly socialized, this was incidental to collecting his wife. He remained for no more than approximately an hour before they departed.
Okay. So when you communicate with Sergeant Nkosi to make a turn, you don't say to Sergeant Nkosi, it doesn't indicate to Sergeant Nkosi that you are giving permission to collect his wife or that there's an issue that his wife can't drive or anything like that. Why is that? How are we to interpret that? Because it doesn't sound like somebody who you're saying, you know, you need this permission to come collect your wife because your wife.
No, I wasn't hostile. We were not hostile. There was no hostile relationship between me and Mr. Matlala in such a way that I could spell it out in that fashion. To me, remember in that moment, at that time, you didn't know and think of a moment like this one. So it's just something that was happening out of 10.
But why would you then need to, if Mrs. Matlala is there and her friend is there and they say, is it okay? She would like her husband to join. Why do you then need to contact Sergeant Nkosi to ask him to invite Mr. Matlala to make a turn? If all you're doing is saying, yeah, it's fine, if she would like him to join, why not leave it to the wife to communicate with the husband to say, this is where I am?
Remember,
Why do you need to contact Sergeant Nkosi to make the arrangement?
remember that in some instances, there's been situations where you find that a wife is invited to a party, but the husband is not necessarily invited to a party. And then the husband cannot just show up because his wife is there. And the fact that maybe also it was to my house and said, look, if it is there, just check with the general whether will he mind or not. But I don't say this is how it happened. But in my case, I was told that Mr. Matlala wants to come and fetch his wife. And so he will be coming down here. I hope you don't mind.
Yes, but that wasn't communicated to you by Mr. Nkosi. That was communicated to you by the people at your house.
Yes.
So once you say to them, I don't mind, why don't you then leave it to them? They can then say, we've spoken to General Sibiya, he's got no problem. And then he comes.
Yes.
Yes.
But I did.
Why did you need to go through Sergeant Nkosi?
Not that I needed to go through Sergeant Nkosi, but at some point I did communicate to Nkosi because I know that he knows Cat, and then I said, no, tell Cat to make house. He mustn't, to make a 10, he mustn't be afraid.
He knows that you know Kat.
We are past that stage. He knows that I know Cat.
Okay. And I'd like to take you just to what Mr. Matlala's version is on this. And that's at file 6. It's also an audio recording. It's the one prior to the one we just listened to. So it's file 6, page 629.
Page
Page 629.
629. Thank you.
Okay, so, it starts a little earlier. You're free to read from the beginning of the transcript if you wish. It's a discussion about questions regarding Sergeant Corsi and you. And then it comes round in 629 to the discussion about EFTs, and the male speaker too says he wants something like dates, car that you were using, where's the car, the routes, things like that. Do you see that?
Yes?
Okay. And then 3 lines down, so line 13 on that page, Mr. Matlala says, I was driving a Rolls Royce. I had a Rolls Royce, and then the transcript doesn't capture the rest. And then male speaker 2, what did his son want? And then Mr. Matlala, it was a party, indistinct, when I got to the party, and then indistinct again. And then witness C says, did you withdraw that money? And Mr. Matlala says, yeah, but remember, I will withdraw maybe 500 and then give him 300. Yeah, so I remember, do you want cars or places, etc. So what he was saying here is that he came to the party. He's saying, it seems, that he came in a Rolls Royce, for what that's worth, and that he came with money, but he said, I remember I will withdraw maybe 500 Rand. I think he probably means more than just 500 Rand.
500,000.
Something like that. And then Mr. Matlala also says, I also went to his plot, his townhouse. And then he says, I was driving a Benz. Okay, so that's Mr. Matlala's version from here, just regarding the party. There are other things, but for the moment, what is your response to that?
Chair, I have screenshots of the family group, family meeting, the grouping that we have, and how each one of them were contributing. This one buying this one saying I'll buy this one saying I'll buy the cake, this one I'll bring this, and then I said, okay, I will bring the spread braai. It was just for 20 people. That didn't need even 300,000. My family paid everything 100% for what was going on. So I want to share it, and I want them to also be displayed, because this is a family meeting. I mean, and then I don't know how I can be assisted that they be also shown there. The same way we see this one, let this communication be shown there, because this is what happened.
But you just tell us what.
Sorry, Ms. Hasim, I think you referred to 500,000.
500 Rand.
500 Rand.
Yes.
500 Rand, not 500,000 Rand.
500 Rand is 500,000.
Sorry? Rand.
500 Rand.
R-A-N-D.
No, we didn't need 500 Rand, quite honestly speaking. Remember, it was at a late stage, and it was almost done, basically.
So the audio clip, And we could play the audio clip, Chair, but the audio clip refers to 500,000. And what it's suggesting in the audio clip, the transcript has these indistinct in between, so it's not quite complete. 500,000 suggesting that he takes cash, basically, to General Sibiya.
They talk about 500, actually, I think it's something like 300,000.
You listened to that audio clip, did you?
Yes, I listened as he was testifying, but obviously I know that the evidence, I believe so much in that thing. Which
No.
I don't, and it's not,
No.
It's not right.
No. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. I'm not believing in anything. I'm putting to you the evidence that has been placed before this commission. It's only fair to you that you are given an opportunity to respond to this.
I want to
And a
respond.
straight answer would be benefit to you.
Chair, I want to respond by showing the group that was created by my wife with the family and kids. Other kids, I've got 6 kids, all of them adults. They're working. And then this one said, this is what I'll do, this is what I'll do, this is what I'll do to support our brother. And here is it. I don't know if I should just read them into the record or just attach them so that they are seen there. And then you can see even the date from 11 September
Chair,
when my wife started.
sorry, General, let me stop you. I accept your word for it, Chair. I have no problem with that. I can understand that in a family setting, that's how it works. People contribute. But it doesn't answer this question, which is a response to this evidence about Mr. Matlala saying he came to the party and that he came with cash.
You see, Chair, in all fairness, it is important that when the evidence leader tried to demonstrate that Mr. Matlala came and he contributed to my son's engagement, then I demonstrate that no. Everything that happened there, we carried as a family. Starting from my wife went with a credit card to Spar to buy the grocery for a small number of people that were there. And then others bought cakes and then we bought this. We didn't need 300,000. We didn't need money from Mr. Matlala. And I quite honestly speaking, I didn't need it. We didn't need it. We didn't ask for it. And then if it was in a sense that is going to bring that amount of money at that point in time, at that late hour, he would have done it maybe in the early, during the day so that I can use it to spend. But because it was not even, I didn't even invite people. Not even there was no friend of mine, not even one. So I'm demonstrating here that we paid and we carried the cost and everything that was there, you can see even yourself that no. Here the family were working together in dealing with this whole thing. So please, this thing of the 300,000, I'm throwing it away. I'm rejecting it right away from the onset.
Okay. I'm not going to, it's still not answering. I didn't put it to you that it was for the purposes of the engagement or for paying for that evening. I don't know what it could have been for. I'm just putting to you what Mr. Matlala says. Right. So to say, well, no, we paid for the engagement, we did it in these various ways, doesn't answer the question directly.
Let's.
Perhaps it does in this sense, and perhaps I'm suggesting that he should move on, Mr.
Yes.
Sim. It answers it in the sense that he denies ever having needed the money. And then, of course, he goes on to give the reason as to why he possibly could not have needed it. But part of that says, I did not need it, I did not receive it. So, in a sense, it does answer it. Perhaps,
Okay.
yes.
I'm happy to move off this. I think
Yes.
we're not going to get further with this.
Are you
I
leaving
just
that
want to-
topic, Advocate Hassan? I have one question on this topic.
On this, I just want to confirm one thing before you do so, Commissioner Khumalo. Do you confirm that General Shibiri was present at this?
Yes.
Okay. And he was aware that Mr. Matlala was going to be arriving?
I wouldn't say so because it looked like General Shibiri was arriving from China at that point in time. Because when I called him, he just said, I just landed or I arrived, something like that, but he was not around.
General, you make all your answers very long. Can you please try to shorten your answers? Because the question is a simple one. Was General Shibiri aware that Mr. Matlala would be there? If you know he was, you say yes, he was. If you don't know, you say I don't know. If you know that he did not know, then you say no.
I really don't know, Chair.
Sorry?
Okay.
I don't know.
Thank you, General.
Thanks. And then,
May that request please apply to all your answers. I do know that there are instances where you may want to give an explanation, but it cannot be in respect of all your responses. Thank you, General.
Chair, I have a question to ask.
Yes.
What is the status of this witness's statement? What is its status? Is it a confession? Is it an admission? Or is it was just an interrogation? Because I'm being asked on something that could have been obtained unlawfully as well, or like as determined by Mr. Matlala as being AI generated and say, I deny this and I deny this and I never said this, or the circumstances under which this statement was undertaken, where they went and booked him and then spent 5 hours with him interrogating him. Now, whatever they said about me, because they want me, now I'm responding to the statement that were made by the sergeants, when in fact they are talking about a confession that was obtained by Mr. Matlala that was supposed to have been, they are junior officials, they are sergeants. They were supposed to, when a person begin to make an unequivocal statement that if it were to be made in court would amount to a plea of guilty or a confession or an admission, then which means then there are certain procedures that needs to be followed. And in this regard, we're talking about a statement where people just called, went to book a person out, sat with a person out for 6 hours and saying it was an informal decision. It was an informal discussion. And then as a result, I just want to be assisted. Where do we position this thing? Was it an admission made by Mr. Matlala? Admitted? Is it admitted? Was it a confession? Or, because I'm now, why I'm worried is the fact that I know the status of PKTT in terms of so badly wanting to get hold of me, considering the fact that they have been to Mr. Matlala many times, even in jail, and saying to him, give us Sibiya, we'll take you out, we'll leave you out. We are prepared to even leave that case of Ms. Tobejani as long as you give us Sibiya. Work with us. Now, I'm in this situation now where now I'm being questioned on the statement that were obtained by PKTT junior members. Say, this is what Matlala told us. Whether I was being assaulted or was under duress, I don't know. But I'm just worried about the fact that I'm responding to a statement that I don't know what its real status is in front of the commissioners.
Ms. Hassan?
General, it is what I described earlier, which is evidence that's been introduced to the commission by witness C, who was there when he was questioning the Mr. Matlala. And that's all it is. This is not a criminal trial. This is evidence that emerged during the course of this commission's hearings. I hear you speaking a lot about this plot that's against you, and that witness C and that all of the people who were responsible for arresting Mr. Matlala are actually doing it as part of a plot against you. But that doesn't take away from what, in his own voice, Mr. Matlala has said. You can say it was AI generated, that's fine. I'm putting it to you so you can respond. You can admit it, you can deny it, you can say whatever you want to say about what Mr. Matlala allegedly said, if you want to put it that way. And that's it.
Ms. Gillian, do you wish to say anything on this?
I agree with the evidence leader that the status and the admissibility of the evidence is not what is to be investigated, but simply this is what somebody said, and for that purpose alone, the witness is asked to respond.
Thank you, Ms. Key. General, at this stage, just a minute, just. General, we have heard your point, but at this stage, we would want you to respond to the questions.
I will respond, Chair.
I think Commissioner Kumalo had a question. Or was it?
Much later, Chair.
Oh,
Let him
all right.
finish the answer to the question.
Oh, all right. Thank you. Sorry, Ms. Hassan.
Would you like to answer?
I thought I responded in the chair.
I would suggest that if rather
Okay.
repeat your question.
Oh, no, it was really to respond to to what Mr. Matlala is saying, that he came to your house, that he came, in a Rolls Royce, that he had withdrawn cash, and that it was 500,000, but that 300.
I think we dealt with and put the question of the money to bed. He denied the bit about the
Yes.
money. Yes.
Yes, I, for some reason, the witness reopened it and said he was questioning the status of it. So I thought he wanted to come back to that question. But if you don't have anything else to say on it, we can move off it.
I do.
Yeah.
Chair, the only question, and without any waste of time, is that over and above the fact that some of these allegations are allegations that can really be confirmed. If a person talk about EFT or whatever cash or whatever, we must be able to also produce that on that day as well, he went to the bank and he withdrew 500,000. And then this is the money. When asked about that, he said, Mr. Matlala's got too many accounts, but let's also see if maybe on that day, did he ever really withdraw money or transfer any money? I mean, the commission has got investigators. It's a point that we're supposed to be rest assured and say, and we can confirm that point as well. But all I can say, I would not really put my family through this thing of my kids. They're struggling where themselves from their own little corners. Another one say, okay, I'll buy a cake. This one said, no, I'll buy this one and then I'll contribute here to support our brother. And then the next thing, when I know that, no, I've got 500,000, I will say, no, don't worry, guys. And then I'll put actually 50,000 and so to go deal with this thing. And then I keep quiet with the 250,000 and see what I do. But that is not the case. So I deny this thing of the EFT, the 500,000, it's just being malicious.
Yes, Mr. Sim.
I have no further questions on this. I'm going to move off. Commissioner Kumalo?
On the 14 September event.
Yes.
Yes. General, I have just a few questions. So when Mr. Matlala came to your house, it was late at night. I'm assuming it was around 8 o'clock.
That's correct.
Yes. And when somebody who's never been to your house before comes to your house that late at night, you would open the gate for him. How else would he get into your house?
No, Chair.
General, did you open the gate for him?
I'm trying to explain to you. I have security at the gate that opens the gate and closes the gate when we have an event, so that people that are invited, they cannot call in every now and then someone must go. So one of the people that I ask that works with me or that we ask the gardener will be at the gate. As a car comes in, they will open the gate. And then as a car drives out, they will open the gate so that nobody comes every now and then call me, open the gate. sometimes I can't even hear the phone, or I don't find my phone somewhere. So we normally make provision for someone to be at the gate.
So did you tell that person that Mr. Matlala will be coming to your house and they must open for him?
No, I don't tell a person that Mr. So-and-so will come. You are at the gate and then you know there's an event at home. Whoever comes, open the gate. Whoever goes, open the gate.
And when the gate was opened for him, did you go to meet him and introduce yourself or him introduce himself?
Not at all.
There was no greeting?
No. Like he said, I bumped into him. It's not like I was seeing him for the first time. So I met him, I bumped into him, we greeted, and then he went and joined his wife.
No, understand me. He's coming to your house for the first time. I mean, when you go to somebody else's house for the first time, you greet them and they welcome you into their house. Did that not happen?
No, it's not how it works, how it happens in all instances, especially under conditions like those. And considering the fact that my house is dead.
You love explaining. You can just say that did not happen and then we leave it there.
All right.
So I don't want you to give a general. My concern with your original statement, it is 90 pages long. Remember, we've been through it over the past 3 days. And from paragraph 161, you address allegations concerning your purported relationship with Mr. Matlala. And all you say in 4 paragraphs is that there was a meeting in January 2024. That's it. You don't mention that there was an occasion where he was invited to your house and there was a party and he did attend, circumstances of his attendance, and he spent an hour at your house. Why is it that you did not consider important to deal with that in your statement before this commission? Why does it have to come by way of a supplementary statement when other people like General Sentumule mention where they met Mr. Matlala, that they met him at your house, and only then do you volunteer information to this commission that, oh yes, in fact, he was at my house, there was an event at my house, and these were the circumstances? Why is it that you did not mention this in your 90-page statement when you devoted a section of your statement to allegations about your relationship with Mr. Matlala?
I think, Chair, I respond to a question that I'm being asked. And when I draft the statement, I drafted the statement and focused on the point at hand. Now, if where I didn't include it, and then it's something that I can speak to, both in writing or oral, that is the case. If ever, maybe perhaps I didn't include it, and then it's something that I am responding to and probed or ask a question, because sometimes I'm not in the same mindset as the evidence leader who is there to ask questions and I must respond. But in my case, when I draft something, when we draft a response on a particular point, we ask a lot of questions, but sometimes I will say this and say, but if you are not asked about this, then why put it in?
General, but you are speaking about your relationship with Mr. Matlala and you are devoting a section of your 90-page statement. Remember why you are here. You are here to assist the commission to establish facts. You don't wait until people make allegations and then only then do you say, oh, I was hoping they were not going to mention this. Now that they have mentioned it, then I will deal with it in a supplementary. Because it's the same issue with the impalas. You say none of this. If you were not allowed to file a supplementary statement, we would have been left with the impression that you only met Mr. Matlala once in January 2024, and that was it. We would not have known that actually he was at your house at a party. Only when General Sentumule mentions it in her statement, and you depose to a supplementary statement where you are responding to General Sentumule's statement, only then do you give the commission these facts. And I find that troubling.
I really am not so sure whether anyway I've never referred to it, but what I know is that I think I can also at this point in time also remember whether at ad hoc committee I was ever asked about it. I was never asked about it. And then even now I was never asked about it. Up until it is being mentioned, that's when I respond to it. So that is why it's not a question of one is withholding information or hiding information, because I'm prepared to respond and I'm responding. If I'm asked about something, I'll respond to it. But if it was never asked, I kept it short.
I'm leaving it there for now.
And then factor into that what Ms. Hassim has already raised with you, which is Sergeant Kosi says that he's dropping the goggles, then coming to you, and you then say, ask it to make a turn. So if you look at what Commissioner Kumalo is raising with you, and what I've just read to you now, to an ordinary reader, that sounds like you were just inviting Mr. Matlala. This idea that he was coming to pick up his wife who had taken a lot of liquor doesn't make much sense. Because all you would say to him is, and by the way, Mrs. Matlala needs to be picked up. Please ask her to come pick her up. You don't say, ask her to make a turn. You are inviting him.
If this is maybe how commissioners maybe see it, I will really, from where I'm sitting, just stick to the fact that when I said ask Kat to make a turn, in my mind I was implying that you can ask him to make a turn. It doesn't really matter. I don't have a problem.
Who had said anything about a problem? That's the thing.
No,
Sergeant Kosi, after dropping off these goggles, I'm coming to you. So you're basically saying, also ask Mr. Matlala to come as well. That's in context, that's what this means. This thing about Mrs. Matlala and so on, and Mr. Matlala having to come pick her up because she cannot drive, in context, it simply doesn't make sense.
General, you're shaking your head.
Are you shaking or nodding? I think he's nodding. I think the general is nodding.
No. It's a chair's viewpoint on this thing, and it's not a fact that I think I should take any further when the chair says it doesn't make sense to me. So to me, I can't argue any further when the chairs.
Ordinarily, people don't speak like that. As khulumi kanjalo, we don't speak like that. All I'm saying is, I mean, you would say, usho kuMatlala ukuthi alande unkosikazi akazukwazi ukushayela imoto ngoba uthande ukuthi kakhulu. That's how you would put it. Please ask Mrs. Matlala to come, Mr. Matlala to come pick up his wife. I'm translating for those who didn't hear. That's how ordinary conversation would go. So I'm not trying to gratuitously attack you or anything. I'm just talking about how people would talk normally. Don't you accept that?
This is how people talk normally, Chair. But how it happened at that time, I cannot also at this point in time describe it anyhow to say, why did I put it like that? But I said, ask Kat to make a turn, and as far as I'm concerned, there was nothing wrong.
Thank you, General.
General, maybe still on this, when you say to Mr. Matlala he can make a 10, and you don't say to Sergeant Nkosi the reason that you are giving us now, you do appreciate that Mr. Matlala would not have known that you are asking him to come and pick up his wife. Only you would have known that, because you don't tell Sergeant Nkosi why Mr. Matlala should make a 10, and so Sergeant Nkosi doesn't tell Mr. Matlala why he's being asked to make a 10. He could only, therefore, both of them, in fact, Nkosi and Matlala, could only think that he's being invited to your house.
We didn't think so, Commissioner, because already Mr. Matlala was in constant communication with his wife, I guess.
No,
Under normal circumstances.
don't guess, General. Don't guess. You've given us what you say are the facts. You say they spoke to you to check if you would be okay or have a problem with Mr. Matlala coming to the house. So you state that as a fact. You then respond by instructing Sergeant Nkosi to tell him to make a 10. So what I'm saying to you is, with what you have told us, you must admit, or you must accept, that Mr. Matlala would not have known from you, at least, communicating to Sergeant Nkosi, that in fact he was being called to come and collect his wife. Just as we wouldn't have known until you started saying, they told me that his wife can't drive. Just looking at this correspondence.
Commissioner, if you remember very well, Mr. Matlala himself did indicate that he received a call from his wife to come fetch her. He did indicate.
Right. And they ask you, would you have a problem with Mr. Matlala coming to your house to pick her up? You action it. And that's what these WhatsApp exchanges are about. You action it by telling Sergeant Nkosi to tell Mr. Matlala to make a 10. And I'm saying to you, what I'm putting to you is, on what you're telling us, someone asked you, do you mind him coming to the house? You instruct Sergeant Nkosi, or you ask Sergeant Nkosi to tell him to make a 10. And I'm putting to you for your comment that, and I think it's a concession you can fairly make, that just on this, he wouldn't have known why he's coming to your house unless his wife spoke to him. Unless you don't know as a fact that his wife spoke to him. Surely you should be able to make that concession, that unless his wife told him that she can't drive, he must come and pick her up, he wouldn't have known why you are saying he must come and make a 10.
Commissioner, Chair, with respect, the evidence leader leads me about a statement that was made at the ad hoc commission by Mr. Matlala. He says things that, and she asked me about things that were spoken by Mr. Matlala at the ad hoc. And I respond, and I'm also making reference to what I heard him saying at the ad hoc. Now then, Commissioner Bale says, no. Forget about what he said, because now you might be accused. I might actually take it that you are tailoring along the way. Now, I want you to answer in respect of this. Now, but as I answer in respect of this, then the question is going to come and say, but Mr. Matlala in ad hoc said this. Now, I'm in between now.
Okay, that's it. I hear your complaint. It's a fair complaint. Let me do this differently. We don't know whether Mr. Matlala is telling the truth or not in the ad hoc committee. So I don't base anything on what he said. I didn't even listen to him in the ad hoc committee. So, and I don't know whether it's true or not what he says happened about this incident. So I put no stock on it. I have my conversation with you about that night, what you know about that night. So let's not refer to him because we don't know what happened between him and his wife, if anything happened at all. We don't know for sure. So I'm saying go back to that evening of the 14th. You are at your house. Your version is someone said to you, they said to you, Miss Matlala can't drive back home. Would you have a problem if Mr. Matlala came to pick her up? That's what you tell us. And I'm not in a position to say, no, that's not true. That's not how it happened. I have, for purpose of our discussion, to take it at face value. It's what you say happened that night. You then action it. That's what you tell us. You send a message to Sergeant Nkosi to tell Matlala, Ket Matlala, to make a turn. We do know that he does arrive because that's your version. He does arrive at your house. All I'm saying to you, or I'm putting to you, is that when all there is someone spoke to you, Sergeant Nkosi wasn't there. Someone told you Mrs. Matlala can drive. You say to Nkosi, tell Ket to make a turn. Ket arrives. In all of that, with all of that communication, Mr. Matlala would not have known from you or from Sergeant Nkosi that he's being asked or invited to come and collect his wife. That's what I'm putting to you, and I'm saying I think it's a fair construction of what happened that night. What do you say to that?
To me, Commissioner, it's rather impossible that my wife could be somewhere at the party, and I don't know where my wife is, or I know that she's at a party and she can't drive, and then that someone else must call me and say my wife cannot drive.
Do you know for a fact that Mr. Matlala knew that his wife can't drive home? Do you know that as a matter of fact? And you understand when I say as a matter of fact, I mean, you're a police officer. You know what the question means. Do you know as a verifiable fact that Mr. Matlala knew that his wife, before you called him, before Sergeant Nkosi spoke to him, and before he arrived at his house, at your house, do you know that he knew as a fact that his wife is unable to drive herself home?
Personally, I didn't know.
Okay, thank you. That's what I wanted from you to clarify. You want to follow up on this? I'm still doing some questions.
You can, I have a question on this chat.
Please go ahead.
But not if it's going to interrupt your line. So maybe you should finish, Commissioner.
Don't forget your question. And then you say, when you say they asked me if I would have a problem, who is they that you're referring to here?
I think it's either General Tema or General Sintumule,
Yes,
because they are the ones who were sitting with her.
yes.
Yes.
Okay. And you told them, no, I don't have a problem. I'm assuming you would have told them
Yes.
that. Okay. And if that's what happened, if you said to them, no, I wouldn't have a problem, why was it necessary for you to get Sergeant Nkosi to communicate with him? Sergeant Nkosi wasn't in the house with you. He was nowhere near you. So you can't say, oh, I saw him next to me and I thought, let me just mention it to him. He's out there. Why don't, after giving the answer to whoever it is that asked you, why don't you leave it at that? Why do you involve Sergeant Nkosi, who's far from this?
I think I left it at that up until when either I got a call but we spoke with Sergeant Nkosi. That's when I said, tell Ket to make a turn. But I left it at then because it wasn't like such a special invitation. So up until at the time I spoke to, I said, no, tell Ket to make a turn. Because I could see already his wife was here and we had two generals there. That one was Shiviri only. And then no any other person was there. These are the only two colleagues that I work with at that office that I came so that I'm not alone. And I didn't invite friends because I knew that others will complain why I didn't invite them.
Why did you not call Mr. Matlala yourself?
Like I indicated, Chair, I never made it my practice to actually communicate with him.
Let me suggest to you what then your answer leads me to. Let me tell you what it leads to. That when Sergeant, because you could have communicated with him, you say you just never made it your practice to communicate with him. Well, Sergeant Ngosi says in January, you said he will be your contact person between you and Mr. Matlala. And this speaks to exactly that. You didn't call Mr. Matlala yourself when you could have, if indeed what you say was the reason for inviting him is the truth. You could have called him. You could have left it with the people that told you that his wife can't drive. You instead involve Sergeant Ngosi, who is not on your property, who is not in the party at that time. That seems to support his evidence or his statement that in January, when you were with Mr. Matlala, you asked him if he minded to be the go-between between the two of you. It's consistent with that evidence. What do you say to that?
Which I deny, Chair. That is not the fact. That is not the case. I didn't need him to be a go-in-between.
Well, he was a go-between here.
No,
You could have phoned Mr. Matlala, and you say to us, well, I didn't make it a habit to speak to him. And remember earlier on, you testified that after your January meeting, you started interacting with him. And now here, and then Sergeant Ngosi says, well, I was a go-between by agreement, by arrangement. And we see him being a go-between here. He's a go-between here. When he says, when you say to him, ask Kate to make a turn, and he does that, and he updates you. I spoke to him earlier, he promised to come around. He will be there in 30 minutes. So he is the go-between the two of you.
I don't think so, Chair. It happened. So it happened, but it does not necessarily mean that there's always a go-in-between.
Yes.
But I do understand that what the Commissioner is saying, that why couldn't you speak to Kat, Mr. Matlala yourself? But
Yes.
at that present moment, I didn't think of me calling him because I'm not even sure whether I had his numbers there in my phone because I never wanted to keep his number in my phone.
Yeah.
Because I avoid this
Well,
communication.
if you didn't have his number, I want to suggest if you didn't have his number and Mr. Ngosi Sergeant Ngosi was not the go-between, you would have gotten his number from his wife, who was there with you. Ngosi was out,
I've never spoken to Mr. Matlala's wife.
but you knew she was there. You would have said to Sintumule or Tema or they, give me his number, I will call him. But you did not do that because you did have a way of communicating with him. And your way of communicating with him was through Sergeant Ngosi, as Sergeant Ngosi says.
Do understand and I do accept the fact, commissioners, and really, if it didn't happen that way, maybe oversight on my side, I will accept it as well.
Okay. Maybe lastly, you say you did not invite Mrs. Matlala to your function. You're nodding.
That's correct.
So she wasn't there on your invitation.
That's correct.
And I think you said she was invited by Major General Tema.
I think so, because this is what I also read from, when you read General Sintumule's affidavit, the one that we received.
Well, General Sintumile doesn't say that. Her affidavit at paragraph 6.1, I can read it for you, otherwise you can pull it out if you want. This is her speaking to that evening, and I'm going to read. Do you want to pull it out, General? Are you happy for me to read it?
I want to get it. It's just that I'm juggling between different
it's
files.
file 10C.
I've got it, Chair.
Yes. It's quite a long paragraph. She says, I want to give you, if you start from the bottom and you count the line numbers, I just want to direct you where I'm going. From the bottom, 11 from the bottom.
Page 11.
Oh, sorry, I do apologize. It's page 5, paragraph 6.1 of that statement. 6.1.
I've got it, Chair.
And then line 11 from the bottom. You will see that line starts with, I did not trust him, even if there were other generals or people. You see that?
Yes.
Okay, so this is where General Sintumule tries to explain why she didn't come alone. And she says, I did not trust him being you, even if there were other generals or people. And then this is where I want to read from. I would either take my younger sister or a friend. In this instance, I took Major General Tema, and she can attest that I informed her that I was actually uncomfortable going to this event because of the ever-changing nature of my relationship with Lieutenant General Sibiya. The party was on a Saturday, and I recall, and this is the part, upon arriving, we noticed there were other colleagues who were also in attendance. During the event, there was a lady, and this is the part where she explains Mrs. Matlala's presence. Says, during the event, there was a lady that came and sat with us, and Major General Tema introduced her to me as Mrs. Tsakane Matlala, with whom she was acquainted. And then she later pointed me to Mr. Matlala and informed me that he was Tsakane's husband. So, according to General Sintumule, Major General Tema did not bring Mrs. Matlala to your house. In fact, what happened is General Sintumule is the one that brought Major General Tema. That's what General Sintumule tells us. That's what she tells us. And then she says she then saw Miss Matlala there. So it is not correct. And it may simply be that you've got the facts wrong, or your recollection or your understanding of what happened that day, which is fine, if that is the explanation. But Mrs. Matlala was not brought to your house, according to General Sintumule. She wasn't brought to your house by Major General Tema.
It is not correct, Chair. Miss Matlala is a very close friend of Miss Tema.
Yes, she may well be. I don't know anything about their relationship. She may well be close friends. All I'm putting to you is General Sintumule, and if necessary, we the commission can, if it's decided it's important, can get a statement from Major General Tema. But according to General Sintumule, Mrs. Matlala was not invited by Major General Tema. She says, I met her because she came to sit with us. I invited, when I say I mean General Sintumule, she says, I invited Major General Tema. 1, 2, while we were there, a lady came and sat with us, and she was introduced to me as Mr. Matlala. So that's General Sintumule doesn't confirm what you're saying, that they came with Mrs. Matlala.
If I were to respond, Chair.
Yes, please do.
I'm going to say something here that no matter what I say, I don't see changing the attitude of the commissioners in relation to my involvement in this thing. And I'm going to give you an example, Commissioner, that says, when you look at the lease agreement that, I don't know whether it's Dr. Pett, the one who did the BBL, or there is another doctor who was referred to get the lease agreement from Department of Public Works. They were referred by General Tema, who was the head of college. The same applies to Mr. Matlala, they were referred by General Tema to the same public works. Now, we are sitting with one person who's very close to these people, but the commissioner is saying, no. This lady, Matlala's wife, was actually brought by you, not by her. It could not have been them. But she's very close to them. I don't know them. And I found them there working together, being very close to one another.
General, I'm not saying you brought Mrs. Matlala to your house. If that's what's happening in how you perceive things, it doesn't come from me. I didn't put to you that you brought Mrs. Matlala to your house. I'm discussing with you your description of how you say she came to be in your house. You say she came with Major General Tema. That's what you said. One. And then you say, even General Sintumule says that. You remember that's what you said. For now, I'm not yet asking for comment. You can say to me, I'm wrong in my recollection of your evidence. But your evidence, and let me repeat it, is she's very close to Major General Tema, who has since retired, and you didn't invite her to your house. She was brought by Major General Tema, who came with General Sintumule. Even General Sintumule says that in her affidavit. That's a sum of your evidence.
Now, Chair, I don't think I was specifically saying they came all three together.
Okay.
In their house, to houses. I invited General Sintumula alone.
Yes.
And then she asked me a question and said, General, can I come with General Tema? I said, it's okay.
Yes.
Because at least she needed to be with someone.
Yes.
And then she came. Like even what I heard at the artwork when Mr. Matlala was saying, my wife was invited by one of her friends. So this is what I know, at least.
Yes. But you said positively in your evidence, and it is important detail because part of the work that we are doing is investigating your relationship with Mr. Matlala. So it is important detail. Your evidence a short while ago is that Mrs. Matlala came there with Major General Tema. That was your evidence. That part I did not misunderstand or mishear. And then you say Major General Tema is retired. She was invited. I didn't invite her. She was invited by General Sintumule. That's your evidence. And then you say even General Sintumule says so in her statement. All that I have done is to read for you, together with you, what in fact General Sintumule says about it. And I say, but what you've described about how Mrs. Matlala came to be at your house is not how General Sintumule describes it. So what you're saying is not the same as what General Sintumule said. And General Sintumule may well be wrong or being dishonest even about it. But you are, to the extent that you are relying on her affidavit, I was correcting you that no, but your reference to her affidavit or your reliance on her affidavit is incorrect because that's not what she says. She says, we met Tsakani Matlala at that house. That's what she says. And that's really the gist of it. She says, we met her at the house.
You see, commissioners, there are key points that I wish the commissioners could just also highlight or underline, rather, to say that I'm taking the relationship that says they are close friends. I'm taking it to the relationship with Dr. Pett, who did the BBL. I'm taking the relationship to the fact that it is General Tema who actually assisted Dr. Pett or the other doctor. I don't know what is Pett, but there are two doctors involved because another one, she did head transplant, she did all those is now. When you look at the fact that I also indicated that they were at Mr. Matlala's house, at Mr. General Sintumula's house, both Mr. Matlala and Ms. Matlala, and I gave the registration number of the car. I do have the registration number of the car, and I'm challenging the evidence leaders, not the evidence leaders, I'm challenging the investigators also to see if they can locate the vehicle in the vicinity in terms of telephone triangulation to see if it can be confirmed, because it is confirmed. So I'm just saying, these people that are so close to Ms. Matlala and Mr. Matlala, no, they are there, and I'm the one actually who was inviting and who's actually close to Mr. Matlala, and these ones, no, I just wanted to put that point as a worrying factor to me.
General, is the long and short of what you're saying that General firstly, I would like you to accept that the statement of General Sintumule does not confirm your version of how Mrs. Matlala came to be in the house. I think that you must confirm just by reading from the statement. You have a different version, she has her own version. So that should be easy to get you to agree to it. And then two, and maybe let me make this point, that if you speak about who was close to who in terms of relationships, I think it's a fair proposition to you or suggestion to you that on your own evidence, you were close to Mr. Matlala. It may be a question of degree. You didn't have a non-existent relationship with him. You told us earlier. You met him in January 2024, and years after that, you started interacting. We see impalas coming into the picture, voice notes being exchanged. Mrs. Matlala is at your house. You say, tell him to make a 10 without explaining why. Mr. Sergeant Nkosi seems to know and understand what this is all about, and he easily tells him to make a 10, and he reports back to you. That and other facts suggest that you do have a relationship with him.
Irrespective of the fact that I do indicate here that I never received any impalas and I never wanted them from Mr.
I'm not asking you about impalas, General. I'm speaking specifically to, there are these facts. You did not receive the impalas, but Sergeant Nkosi is getting impalas, is trying to get impalas for you. He involves Mr. Matlala. And when he says cat, this is from cat, you know what he's talking about. Which cat he's talking about. You know and understand all of those things. But on your own version, after you meet him in January, you do interact with him. You tell us that of course, after that, we started interacting. So all I'm simply putting to you is, well, on your own version, there was a relationship with you. You had a relationship with Mr. Matlala. We can debate, was it close? Was it not too close? Was it uncomfortably close? That's a conversation for another day. But for now, all I'm putting to you is, on your own version, there was clearly a relationship between you and Mr. Matlala. In the same way, maybe, that you say even Major General Tema had a relationship with him. Even General Sintumule had a relationship. You did have a relationship with him.
I think I never at any stage denied that I was talking to him or I spoke to him, but what I was not really agreeing to was that he's a friend, he's my friend.
Okay.
But I want to ask a question, Chair, direction perhaps, in just to look at this. Is this thing of having spoken to Mr. Matlala looked at in a negative light, in a sense of him being a service provider or a person who is not charged criminally, who is not under investigation, and then given to, as far at that time, to as far as we're concerned? The reason why I'm asking that, we have the same scenario where Lieutenant General Nkua who is the acting deputy national commissioner, who is very close to a lady whose husband is the one who's been allocated the tender, and they are all over the show. They attended the wedding.
No,
Let me finish,
no,
Commissioner
General.
Baloyi.
No, General. No.
No.
I don't think, I don't think we should provide you with a platform to make allegations about people. If you've got evidence before us, by all means, you can do a supplementary statement. You can provide us with evidence, and then we look at of what relevance is that to our terms of reference. I don't think it is right that you sit there and you use the platform to introduce other relationships that suggest impropriety. Maybe there is impropriety, but this is not the time or the opportunity for you to do that. I asked you a question about, do you accept on these facts that they indicate that you had a relationship? And I made a point of saying to you, I'm not saying it is close relationship, because I don't know how close this relationship is. But do you accept that from January, when you say you met him for the first time, and you've now testified this morning to say, of course, I interacted with him after I first met him, and now we know his wife was at your house. We know he came and spent about an hour, according to your evidence. We know that Sergeant Nkosi tried to get impalas for you, at the very least tried, for you from him. Yes, and then now this evening, you say to Sergeant Nkosi, tell him to make a turn. I'm saying, do you at least accept that it signifies a relationship, whatever form it is? It does signify that you did have some relationship with him.
I wouldn't agree that this is a relationship. I don't really want to admit or accept the fact that some form of a relationship. I might have done that, but does not necessarily signify that there's a relationship.
Okay. All right. Thank you, General. Ms. Hassim?
Thank you. General, just before we leave these chats, when you send this message saying, ask Kat to make a turn, that wasn't the first time that you asked Sergeant Nkosi to invite Mr. Matlala over. Isn't that so? For the 14th September.
I don't remember inviting him in any other place. There's one moment that I remember. It was as allegations started filtering in terms of the involvement. His name was mentioned at some point in the Jerry Boshoga matter, where I needed now to understand, because I hear this thing and I want to understand, can you be involved here? Could you be involved? Could you be the one? Because I needed to know that. So if it happens that maybe I might have, I won't deny. Remember, I don't have any access to my gadget and no recall of what must have happened. So I don't want to sit here and say it wasn't the first time, it was the first and last time. In the meantime, you show me something that I don't recall anymore. So I don't know.
Okay.
Let us please adjourn for 10 minutes. So 16:10, and we'll come back at 16:10 and sit until 5. Let's adjourn.